Up next on End of the Day Beer Review, we are going back to the cellar. And we are going to be looking at Bourbon County brand stout. And this is the Mon Chéri stout. This is a stout aged in bourbon barrels with cherries, granola, oats, brown sugar, and it says 100% natural flavor added. And this is a 2019 beer. And it is coming in at 14.1% ABV. Let's check it out. Hi everybody, it's Rich and welcome to the End of the Day Beer Review. And today we are going back to one of those beers from Bourbon County that I've been interested to see how it has aged. This is the Goose Island Bourbon County brand Mon Chéri Stout. This is a stout aged in bourbon barrels with cherries, granola, oats, brown sugar, and other 100% natural flavors. And this is a 2019 offering. So let's see, it is 2024, 19 to 20, 20 to 21, 21 to 22, 22 to 23, 23 to 24. So this is about 5 years old now. It does say on this one that you should use it by August of 24. That's the best buy. So we're going to get it just in under the wire here in May. I am using the proper branded drinkware for this. This is my Bourbon County 2016 glass. Let's crack this open and let's see. Now, gotta be honest with you, first things first, enormous aroma of the bourbon barrel and to a lesser extent, the cherries that I'm sure are in here. You know what? I'm gonna pause here for 1 second. Okay, back to it. So let's see for just a second. I have a really powerful flashlight if we have a lot of sediment down on the bottom of this bottle. Now, let's see. I have super bright now. And I do see some sediment, which by the way, has been sort of a problem with the 2019 variants that I've had so far. So we're gonna pour this slowly. I actually have a wheat wine sitting in here right now, which I'm actually a little reluctant to try because the amount of sediment here is sort of ridiculous. I don't know if this is bad. I don't know if this is drinkable. I may try to actually strain it and see. But I mean, that sediment is all through the bottle and I find that a little problematic. And you know, the real problem is this was aged in 2019 in a larceny barrel and I'm really interested to see how it tastes, but I'm also not interested in getting, you know, sick from it. So have to try that out at another time. With that in mind, we're gonna do a slow pour into the glass and we're gonna see. Now, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but this beer does come out with a slight sort of cherry or red tinge to it. Reminds me in color of the stain I use on my deck called redwood. Now I'm gonna again go with the flashlight one more time. I do not see, whoops, any sediment in there, and it's not penetrating the actual beer. So I'm assuming this is pretty good. Let's give the nose a try. So I'm getting the very typical Bourbon County aroma to it. A lot of bourbon on the front end, a lot of chocolate, a lot of sweetness, but I'm also picking up a good amount of cherry on the back end here. I also want to say there's a decent amount of dark fruit in here. I'm thinking sort of like plum-ish. Oh, this is lovely. It has such a nice nose. Looking at the top of it, which I'm sort of glad. I know the glass was very clean. There's not anything like overwhelming floating on top, which I was worried about. Again, 2019 with Bourbon County, for some reason, seems to have an issue with sediment. And sometimes I have friends, James, I'm talking to you, who actually strain this through a paper coffee filter to sort of get the sediment out, which is what I might do with that Larceny one. Chocolate, bourbon, coffee, and cherries, which I have to tell you is a phenomenal, phenomenal nose. That is very nice. Very nice. You know, the only way we can check it out, let's see what it tastes like. And honestly, that has aged beautifully. Front end, all bourbon barrel. In fact, it's basically all stout, all bourbon on the front end of it. There's a certain roastiness. As it goes mid-tongue, you're sort of getting that chocolate, excuse me, back of the tongue, and that's where it gets interesting. You're getting this cherry, sort of dark, sort of plum flavor to it, which is really interesting. That is a fine beer. As far as alcohol content goes, it is ridiculously smooth. Very easy to drink, goes down without, I mean, this is 14% ABV. So this is one you would expect to notice the alcohol content. You really don't. The alcohol content is not apparent. There's no burn as it goes down. It's just a good tasting beer. There's no bad aftertaste to it. Like I said, the sediment problem, I think I have solved by slowly pouring it today. But this really does live up to everything that the barrel has added. Now, I haven't had this since I want to say 2020, maybe 2021. And I have very fond memories of it because it was a really good beer. And it continues to be a really, really good beer. Now, I am, to be honest, seeing some floaties right on top, but nothing that's making me really reluctant to drink the beer. I may actually pour the rest of it through a paper filter. But considering this is 4 or 5 years old, I am really amazed that the cherry flavors and the cherry notes have lasted. The chocolate is there, the bourbon is there. This is just a beautiful, beautiful beer. I have to be honest with you, 2019 was not my favorite year of Goose Island. In fact, of all of the Goose Island bases that I've looked at, the 2019 was sort of my least favorite. Okay, so that's super bright. And I am not getting any major sediment problems here. There's some left in the bottom. I'm gonna definitely filter that out, but the beer itself is pretty clean. Mind you, with all the Bourbon County, the only one that I look at for sediment is 2019. 2020, fine. 2018, fine. And if you have a 2018, it is exceptional. Definitely worth drinking the base and all of the adjuncts that came out with it. Now, there are more floaties in this now, so I'm definitely going to filter it again. But I have to tell you, the Mon Chéri, excellent, excellent beer. Now, it does say aromas of amaretto. That I do not get. Of cherry and chocolate, which I do get. The oats I'm not getting, but I have to be honest with you, I never got the oats in the original tasting of this either, so I'm not really all that concerned about it. But this is a beautiful beer. If you see this somewhere, number one, you know, if you happen to have an incredibly bright flashlight, check for sediment. If you don't have said flashlight with you, hold it up to the light and just make sure that you're comfortable with the amount of sediment that may be in the bottle. And again, if it's there and it's clean, I would buy this every time I see it, without a doubt, as long as the sediment problem wasn't overwhelming. Anyway, folks, I hope you've enjoyed this particular episode. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to enjoy the rest of this beer. This is an exceptional one, once again, by Goose Island. And Bourbon County Stout, again, is probably my favorite beer of all times for a lot of different reasons. But this is one of those reasons that, you know, and I'll try to articulate it. I love the fact that in 2019 I picked this up, and here it is 2024, and so much has happened, and the one thing that is always there and consistent and good is going to be that Bourbon County. You know it is going to last those times, and it's going to be there, and it's going to be an exceptional beer to drink after it's been sitting for a few years. I see no discernible difference in a negative way than when I first tried this. It is still an exceptionally good beer, and I imagine it will continue to hold up. I only have one more of these in the cellar, and I don't plan on trying this for a while, probably another year or two, to see how it holds up. But right now, it is a fantastic beer, and if for some reason you have one or you see one out there, I highly recommend that you pick it up. I took the risk, and you know what? It's clean. There's nothing to be worried about. There's no overwhelming sediment. This is just an exceptionally good beer. All right, folks, I hope you enjoyed the review. If you have, hit that like button, subscribe, and I will see you next time on End of the Day Beer Review. Cheers.